Welcome back to Press Review. Let's start by taking a look at today's front pages in the Middle East. Lebanon's Daily Star reports that the Lebanese army has confirmed that a 22-year-old Palestinian was one of two suicide bombers who targeted the Iranian Cultural Center in a Beirut neighborhood the day before, as the death toll from the attack rose to 10. It also reports on an explosion that eyewitnesses said was a car bomb that tore through a Syrian refugee camp at a border post on the frontier with Turkey, killing more than a dozen people. Egypt Independent reports that sources close to former presidential candidate Khalid Ali have said he will soon be announcing that he is running in the next presidential elections. It also reports that explosions rocked 5 polling stations in eastern Libya as voters began electing a body to draft a new constitution. Turkey's Hurriyet Daily News reports that Turkey's government has taken another controversial step amid deepening political turmoil to expand the powers of Turkey's spy agency, turning it into an intelligence coordination body that will work directly under the Prime Minister. Israel's Jerusalem Post leads its paper today reporting on the fierce fighting in Ukraine's capital Kiev as the death toll rose to 67 after intense gun battles between police and demonstrators. It also reports that world powers and Iran reached a framework for political and technical discussion concerning Iran's nuclear program. The UAE's Gulf News also leads, reporting on the fighting in Kiev, in Ukraine's capital, saying that 3 hours of fierce fighting in Independence Square left the bodies of over 20 civilians strewn. It also reports on WhatsApp being bought by Facebook. The Saudi Gazette leads, reporting that British Minister Baroness Saeeda Warsi, who is visiting the kingdom this week, took part in the challenging and intricate process of embroidery, the kiswa, the black silk cloth that covers the Holy Kaaba. It also reports on Facebook's $19 billion takeover of WhatsApp. Now let's take a look at the top headlines from UK papers. The Guardian's Middle East section leads with Gaza, saying that Gaza's fragile ceasefire is threatened by border clashes as Hamas weakens. The article says that Gaza is like the elephant in the room in the peace negotiations, with no discussion of it in the Kerry talks. The Telegraph's Middle East section reports that journalists detained in Egypt since Christmas have appealed to Western governments to put pressure on the military junta over their imprisonment and treatment in custody, in what has become a test case for press freedom in the country. The journalists are being accused of spreading disinformation about Egypt. Now let's take a look at the top Middle Eastern stories in international papers. The Australian's Middle East section leads, looking at Iran and the P5+1 talks, saying that Iran and world powers have agreed on a timetable for the ambitious process of hammering out a lasting nuclear accord by July the 20th. Such a deal, if reached, should resolve the decade-old standoff over Iran's nuclear drive, silence talks of war for good, and help normalise Tehran's strained international relations. China Daily's top Middle East story reports that Israeli President Shimon Peres is saying that there is no alternative to peace between Israel and the Palestinians. It says that Peres has praised US Secretary of State John Kerry's efforts in mediating a framework agreement between the two sides. Washington Post top Middle East story reports on the US and its principal European and Arab allies agreeing on a unified way of providing Syrian rebel groups with aid, classifying them into those who should receive arms supplies and other assistance, those who are ineligible because of clear extremist ties, and those whose eligibility requires further discussion. And for more updates, please visit Levant.tv. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join us again on Monday. Bye for now.